Welcome to another BloodDK Mythic Plus video. This time it's a Theater of Pain 22, and I really like to do this dungeon as a Bastion DK actually, because there's a lot of bosses that you can cleave. The ad packs are really small, so they get a very good value from your Shackle the Unworthy ability. And of course, to get low cooldown, I play with Mechanicus. This ability is also really nice to increase the duration and increase the damage. Yeah, Brawn is whatever as well. Again, here, like my Night Fae video that I showed, I like this combination of 2 potency and 3 endurance. Again, the same ones. This one does also a nice bit of damage and get the cooldown reduction, especially on the first boss. You get like 4 or 5 shackles up. Does a lot of damage. One small talent change, I play with Relish in Blood instead of Blood Tap, because as a Kyrian, I don't need really the additional runes, so I just get the passive one. Especially in this dungeon, you can control really nicely. You don't need to do a lot of big AoE snap burst because the packs are not so large. Yeah, my gear doesn't change again because the packs are not so dangerous. I play with 2 damage trinkets, reflect trinkets again, and the same legendary Crimson Rune weapon. So have fun in the dungeon. So here we are in the dungeon. Nice Theater of Pain. I choose Kyrian here because there's a lot of small packs and 2 to 5 target cleave where you can easily spread the dot, get a lot of damage reduction. And yeah, the vial is not really useful. Yeah, unfortunately the Shaman pulls early, so I need to put some effort to do some burst aggro, get all the mobs, but the Hunter should help me as well. Yeah, here you can see I can spread my Shackle really easily to all the mobs, and I'm now at 12, 13, 14k DPS quite easily with the Shackle. Yeah, the Hunter is in his pot, died from something. But yeah, that's the nice way from the pot. We didn't need to use a res. I'm missing some damage, but it's fine. As a DK, you can mostly, like for the first minute and a half, you can really easily rotate your CDs to survive this. You can always grab the small soul mob to interrupt the stun. You always have grip ready. This time I didn't need it, but it's really nice as a backup. As a DK, you can always interrupt it. Also, you can range interrupt these mobs as a tank, which is also really nice to keep them grouped up. Mortal Strike, of course, especially on Tyrannical, is quite annoying. This time I parried, luckily, which I do mostly always when I have my Dancing Moon weapon up. So this boss is like, without Necrotic, of course, this boss is normally not really a problem for me. I can heal most of it up. Because it's multiple targets, of my Shackle cooldown with Mechanicus is always quite low, so I can always reapply it and get some more spread on. Keep them grouped. Group this one got stunned by someone. I don't know. The Decapitator is almost dead, which is mostly what all groups are doing to kill him first, to relieve the tank a little bit from the damage that it takes. Now, from now on, I will not use all my CDs anymore, because I want to have them for the mini boss later down there, when we come down to the dungeon. My defensive cooldowns, that is. Yeah, grip and stun it. Always get like a small bit of haste from my Mechanicus trait. Whenever something spawns, I get like 3% stacking haste for 10 seconds, which is really nice. After this pull, I will take a short look at my damage breakdown, and as you can see, the Trinket from Tassavesh, the codec of the first technique, is really huge for this boss, because you take so much damage from this boss. Basically, you have always full value, so it's like crazy. Check out the Unworthy Shackle the Unworthy as well, really nice. No, yeah, I'm really happy about the trinket. Yeah, for this universe I try to always use Dancing Moon Weapon on cooldown, so you can parry the bleed and relieve the healer as well. Which I didn't do this time, unluckily. But I have some more cooldowns for that. This time I parried without Dancing Moon Weapon. So in the end comes to the same conclusion. Nothing much going on here. But it's really nice to have the Executioner very early in the dungeon, which this week is basically only Theater of Pain, because the Stygian King's Barbs, again, as a DK, they're providing me a lot of, especially boss damage. So it's really nice to have them very early, so it can stack up. Now we go to Xav. Because there's most of the mobs and all of the bosses do a lot of damage to the group. I try to get Soulbind as quickly as possible, and also the mob that I can mind control here. Yeah, just group them up. Here use mouse grip to get some better cleave. Sometimes you can pull the two mini bosses, this one and the one in the next room, together, to get more value from your cleave damage from your multi-target classes. But I was thinking maybe it is too dangerous when we get unlucky and get both of the AoE ones that do the scream. Then it actually can almost get one-shot the group. So I just take my time here to just kill it one by one. Yeah, I try to see like how much damage does this actually do. The Whirlwind and the Demon Hunter had the same idea with a different result. Yeah. Quick. Should be quick. Disenrage from the Hunter. Killing quick. Yeah, as a Necrolord, I would always wait for until after Soulbind to activate the banner, so you have a little bit of it during the boss fight in your damage window for the boss fight, so you have still the banner with it. Soulbind really nicely for this dungeon to get the shield as a damage healer and a healer to prevent some damage that you can't really prevent normally. You can't interrupt or something from the bosses, then it's really nice to have some damage reduction. In some dungeons I picked the Leech from Soulbind, but in this dungeon this is like a very mixed mixed types of damage and mixed ways to get them. Sometimes there's a lot of small mobs hitting you, sometimes there's really big chunks of damage, so the shield provides the most value overall, in my opinion. Here we get the good one, the easy one. So wait until everyone is there. Unfortunately, I didn't tell them that I do this normally, so I will just, when the patrol is there, I will mind control it and group them up. When it's not fortified, you can do this easily. And get a really nice cleave on 5 targets, especially for the Hunter, really nice. Because I didn't tell them what I do, they panicked a little bit, especially the healer with the link. And now if they start to get lower, the mobs, the damage healers start to die because they use basically everything, stuns, defensives, offensives, interrupts, whatever, at the start of the pull. And now we have nothing left and people start dying. Which could have been prevented if they would be better prepared and they just group them up quickly, cleave them to 30%, stun them, Earth Ela or something like that, that would be much better. But we managed to not wipe, to do it. We can go on to the next mob. This would have been not really possible if the other mini-boss was active, because he also does like the Scream or Stomp or something that can quickly kill one. If he gets targeted by one archer and get the Stomp or the Scream, and they will just die instantly. Now I have my little mob, which I try to keep for the whole dungeon to get the 2% damage boost from his aura and the 5% AoE damage reduction, which comes in quite handy on a lot of the bosses and the trash as well. And sometimes he interrupts with his shield bash, which is also quite funny. If you have a group that doesn't have like so many interrupts as we have, then it can be actually quite worth it to have it like as an additional, I think, 8-second interrupt or something like that. The big caster groups later. Yeah. this mini boss is the annoying one, but it's not really that dangerous. Here I forgot to recontrol my captain, so he will get dismissed like during the fight, but I quickly stun him and then just grab him again. Very predictable damage pattern from this boss. You can just build up some runic power and heal yourself quickly after the combo, or use some of your many CDs to heal up and reduce the damage. Unfortunately, you can't spread your shackle to the banner because it's not counted as an enemy mob, as a neutral mob. So that will not spread there, which is true for all neutral mobs in all the dungeons. You need to be aware of that. So you don't get much benefit from that. But of course, when you hit them with the initial application, you get still the damage reduction. The cooldown reduction. Yeah, the timing was really nice. Still have the banner going for the 10% versatility, and now we have perfect last for the group, and this the one who gets the damage buff from the fight downstairs. And we can do a lot of single target damage here. I wait with my check a little bit, so it will be ready for the next combo, and also for the cooldown reduction. Oh, I didn't do that. Yeah, not much going on. A few seconds, I think my ad will come out during the next AoE phase. But I will just grab it really quickly. The 5% damage reduction from my mob already come in handy to reduce the unpreventable damage here. Yeah, now I use my shackle, get the 5 additional second damage cooldown reduction. Oh. Yeah, now he comes out, but I have some time to control it. You kill the boss. Here it's important, when you control this mob, that you try to run as quickly out of the room as possible, because the mob will, of course he doesn't have a path down, he will just run all the way around, and if you're quick enough, he will be so far away that he despawns there and spawns in the middle. If you are too slow, then he will run around, will get out of range, but is still so close that he will get enemy again. and he will just evade spawn at some point during this pull, which is really annoying. So try to be as quick as possible when you run away with him. Here we have a lot of AoE damage, a lot of AoE stuns, so this is quite nice. I like to do the small split because then it's really easy to group them up, and still really easy to kill them. Yeah, I first saw on the way here that the monk gave me the Tiger's Lust, which is really nice. If you have a DK in the group, always consider giving them the Tiger's Lust. Here I try to grip everything together, but I realize, oh, my mouse group doesn't work. The reason for that is that I changed my client to English, but I didn't change my macros yet from the German names inside the macros. So the question mark that you see down at the bottom is my grip on myself, basically, which doesn't work. The name is the German name in the English client. Here the hunter is baiting outside. Unfortunately, gets a lot of damage from the AoE. But the rest of the group is inside the Spirit Link and the AMZ, so it's really easy to reduce the damage. And the 5% damage reduction from my mob also really comes in quite. When you want to keep your captain for the whole dungeon and don't want to make some really weird pulls, you need to change the route slightly. So for the first portal, you don't go right as you normally do, but left to the other platform, because this way, when you change then to the second platform, your mob will not pull some random shit and you need too much percentage. So as you can see, I go to the right way, left way, and kill this pack. This is important, as you will see later when we change to the next platform. My mob doesn't pull while he is flying the pack underneath. Because again, we have a lot of stuns, so this pack is not as dangerous. The healer is really good to handling all of this. Yeah, my mob flies behind me, and if you do use the other platform, he actually flies above the pack that we crossed and pulls it, which is really annoying. But the left platform that we did gives a little bit less percentage, so after this space here with the big mob, we need to go to the Bone Storm platform next to get the appropriate percentage. The 8-second shield bash on my mob is really nice in this part of the platform, because he just randomly interrupts some casts, which can be really nice, because he's very quickly with it. If he has it on cooldown, he just instantly interrupt something and you don't really need to worry about it. Also, he has like the warrior kind of demoralizing shout, which he also applied here, which is really nice to reduce the damage on the group again. So you can provide actually a lot of with only one mob that you might control for the dungeon, you can provide a lot to the group as a DK. Here I try to control it again, so I don't need to worry about it for the next boss fight. Sometimes he would die with the spawn spears, but this group is really nice with dodging abilities, so no, most of them. Here you will see that my mob does some small interrupt later on in this pull. Here again, small pack size, really nice for your shackle to cleave it. On some other weeks, it's like in Fortified, or especially on weeks where the mobs hit harder than they do now. It's nice to mind control the mages that do the bone spear to make it easier for the group. We were a little bit faster than I expected, so we don't have last at this point. But we have all our cooldowns, and even on this boss, a late last is still good because it's really dangerous, and some cooldowns will be ready when we are at the last again, so not much of a loss when you last late on this point. Always keep an eye on where the people are, the hands are, and the debuffs are, so you can use your AMZ to help out the healer. Yeah, unfortunately I missed a little bit, but you can, when they share a hand or somebody has a debuff and the group takes a lot of damage, it's nice. And also the 5% damage reduction from my mob. But this boss doesn't really do much, and as a DK you can just basically heal yourself for the whole fight, and give the healer much more room to heal the group. In addition to that, the boss has a nice speed of auto attacks, so the Stygian King Barb or all your other damage deflection possibilities have a lot of value on this one. Healer dies, but like, the boss is not really dangerous, so I can just toss out a quick battle res. This is a very heal intensive fight, so a healer should be up quickly. Yeah, now we last. We want to have it ready for the last boss, and if we delay it more, then maybe we won't have it when we are there. Yeah, healer is almost out of mana, but the boss is almost dead, so yeah, good check. Yeah, I notice Nap has only a minute left, so I will just quickly dismiss it and control him again, so we are safe for the next few minutes. I saw we don't have a lot of damage dealer cooldowns, so I wasn't sure if we want to make a double pull, but they were all clear about that they want to do that, so I just quickly stunned this to make it easier to put them together. Realize again, oh, my grip is not working, so I need to do the other grip. Here I get a lot of haste from the Mechanicos thing, so it's really easy to do quick hard strikes and spread the dodge to as much mobs as possible. Particularly unworthy. Always keep an eye on the Booted Butcher, and normally as a tank as well, but as a DD especially, who has a lot of stuns, you should have an eye on the Devourer Flesh, which on a DK especially heals the mob for quite a bit, and it's really worth it to delay your stuns or something to just interrupt this, because you can only do it with stuns. You can't do it with interrupts or grips or something like that, so always keep a stun for this Devourer Flesh. Not much to say here. Yeah, Devourer Flesh again. You can see, but this time the mob was not raging, so it didn't heal for as much as before. Now I see we have a lot of time. So I ordered the hunter to pull the mob. If you are like around 12 minutes, maybe I think you should skip it and just play the last boss with the slow. But we have 14 minutes, which is more than enough with the damage that we have. So hunter is actually really nice. Put the pet on passive, use turtle to avoid the damage. Really nice thinking of him. And there are some bosses where you can easily skip some of the lieutenants. But this last boss has some variety to it, which what can happen. So I'd rather don't have the slow or any kind of other effects on him if you have the time to do that. Unfortunately, we don't have a rogue. So with my mob and the other ones as well, they can't use Invis Potion to skip the patrol. So, and we are really unlucky with the pathing here after the mini boss. Yeah, again, AoE damage reduction, nice for the last boss, nice for the trash that's coming up ahead. Now we need to wait. Again, we are now at the around 12.5 minutes mark. If you are here before the mini boss, I would just skip it. But now we are at the point that I would normally expect to be. But we have it killed, so the last boss will be easier. Everyone has their CDs, so we can just blast the next few packs. Hunter again stood in some AoE, but luckily he has the small thing. Dream River. Yeah, he does a. You can see the Devour Flash heals him for around 20% of his life. Because nobody interrupted it, me included. I could have had an eye for that, but now that he's dead, we can proceed. Kill the small ones here. For the next, the next up. AoE grip really nicely. Now he's raging and pulsates a lot of AoE damage to the group, but we have all of the damage reduction from the absorb shields and the stuff from the animal powers, so we are really good. Perfect timing for him to automatically dismiss, but I will just grab him again really quickly and pull these two mobs into the boss, as I would do on almost all the fixes basically, except for Necrotic and Woodstring, of course. This was again really nice damage pattern for DK. Fortunately, I missed the right way to go, and was a little bit stressful at this point. But I quickly rest the monk, and I think we are stabilizing. Hooded Butcher got a few of the Devour Flash off, so he healed a little bit. It's unfortunate, but now is one more 20%. Yeah, this boss is always a little bit stressful as a DK to gather the mobs, because you're a little bit limited with your range aggro options, while also trying to get the perfect distract, of course. So that's why I got hooked sometimes during this fight. Yeah, but it's not really a dangerous boss, so it's outside of the hardcore strikes, doesn't really do much. Okay, what a nice cooldown reduction on my shackle. Always nice when we can get that in a mostly single target boss fight. I misplanned my movement a little bit and got hooked. Healer reacted quickly. I had my death strike up. Everything is alright. Yeah, I don't know about the third link here, but better safe than sorry, because I fucked up a little bit in the fight, so the healer was just making sure I'm not dying. After this boss, because I was a little bit tilted that I took all the hooks, I did something really stupid, I don't know why. Little brain lag. Instead of dismissing my pet to recontrol it, I dismissed myself from the party for some reason. I didn't even think about it until a few seconds later. I think they were really confused what happened. But somebody invited me back and everything is at normal. Just want to realize, whoops, what was that? First time that happened to me. All my time playing WoW. Now we're doing the last few mobs while the boss is in the RP to spawn. Again, really nice spread here. Technically you can wait and pull them into the boss to get some cleave, but until the boss spawns they are almost already at 20%, so it was not really worth it to pull them there and delay it so much. Boss is really nice for a DK because it is like has a very predictable damage pattern, like every I think around 30 seconds. Does the scythe, which you can just use one of your CDs basically always to reduce the damage a little bit, and then heal up really quickly with the death strike. I think it's every 20 seconds it does heal, right? Depending on the abilities that the boss does outside of that. Here I used my mask grip. I think it was not really worth it because everyone had still some cooldowns running. Should have waited later for when everything is like in the second phase, when there's a bad overlap between abilities, and if you can grip them, it's really easy to cleave them down quickly. Make this overlap a little bit easier. Yeah. Now I just use one CD after the next. Get a nice quick Tiger's Lust from the monk to run out. Really nice from him. Still, my mob is my little mind control mob is there, giving us damage reduction and more single target damage, which is really nice for all the single mobs and bosses you need to kill in this dungeon. It's nice to basically always have the 2%, which equates to basically more and more anima power for the group as a whole. We're almost at the second phase, which will be blasted and killed quickly. I think at this point everyone knows how this boss works. And it should be really easy. Yeah, now here I'm really safe. I have full runic power. I just used the Lich Bone, small damage reduction, and just healed myself up. Yeah, this is what I mean. For this one I could have saved the mask grip to make it more easy. But we're really clean. I still have 2 battle resets left, so even if somebody would have died there, like the monk. We're really good. 4 minutes left, which is like really nice. If we have not killed the frost mob, we have around 6 minutes left, but it has a much harder boss fight, so yeah, I think it's worth it if you have the time to just kill it and make it quick and easy. Yeah, that was the dungeon. I apologized for my mishap before, but yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.